multiple vehicles. Multiple vehicles. Stolen white key. Eyes up. Eyes up. White key. Everyone get down. Multiple vehicles. Everyone get down. Security, eyes up! We're looking for a stolen Jeep. Multiple shots fired. Don't know if there's any victims. There's also a multiple car shooting from the fucking border side. Unknown vehicle, multiple shots fired. Any corner target. Already ready up, Brody. I'm talking.
Sorry, I ran out of bullets. I was like, I know that feeling. That nigga.
Where's the driver of this? Oh my God. Holy smokes. And the driver of this car? We've got.
Don't get me on this bitch, bro. Yeah, Zay Honcho, man, out here saving lives. Zay Honcho, Zayhunchoo. Rest in peace, my brother that came through.
Rest in peace.
He had to, but he got clapped, and we brought him to the hospital. But whatever happened, happened, bro. But we out here to save lives and do shit for the people. And this is what happens, bro. So no violence is coming.
So whose car is this, though? This is your people's car?
This is a stolen vehicle.
But this is your people's car?
Spun through, and we...
Who was driving it?
Some active shooters. Active shooters came through in a stolen vehicle. They spun around the field a few times, and then they try to come through our barrier, through our main entrance, bro. And our people are having it. We already had the right tire out, And they fucking put on her, drew down, and took him out the car. And we gave him service. Lucky that they got that, bro. They could, we would at least want to save his life, man. You know?
We see blood in the vehicle.
All over the vehicle.
Yeah, so you said they already hit in the vehicle, bro.
Keys are still in the dash. Wow. Holy cow.
But this biohazard shit, it's biohazard.
Yeah, it's all biohazard.
Yeah.
So he tried to drive through the barricade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tried to.
Yes, sir.
Failed. Yeah, this is from that Jeep. I swear, I watched that shit happen. Yeah.
We caught this video. Check this out. This is video of that very same car attempting to transport the victim to the hospital. And you can see driving around the CHOP zone, unable to get out of the area to get that person to the hospital due to the barricades. It looks like they really didn't know which way to go or what to do. But ultimately, they did make it here to Harborview Hospital. And just a couple of minutes ago, we saw the last of the Seattle police officers leave the area.
It's very unfortunate that we have yet another murder in this area identified as the CHOP. 2 African-American men dead at a place where they claim to be working for Black Lives Matter, but they're gone. They're dead now. And we've had multiple other incidents: assaults, rape, robbery, and shootings. And so, this is something that's going to need to change. We're asking that people remove themselves from this area for the safety of the people. If they care about people, they're going to have to try to help us to make it safe. Not opposed to anybody's issue or concern. They certainly can demonstrate, and peacefully any place, but they can't hostily take over a neighborhood and cause the crime levels to go up like this. 2 men are dead. 2 men are dead. And a child, a 14-year-old, is hospitalized, and we don't know what is going to happen to that kid. Enough is enough here. I'm not going to let the detractors and the naysayers and the agitators, be the ones that are the voice here. There are people who live here. There are multiple people who are being injured and hurt, and we need to do something about it. It is absolutely irresponsible for this to continue. Well, I can tell you this, as an African-American woman with uncles and brothers and stuff, I wouldn't want them to be in this area. We've had 2 men killed, and we have a child that's injured from gunfire. So this is a real problem. And I would question, why we would continue to allow this to happen.
Gun violence, does it hurt the movement of fighting for equality and Black Lives Matter?
Well, I absolutely think that the fact that is so rude. This is what I'm talking about. This kind of behavior is irrational and unacceptable.
I said some people are going to be hurt, and that's what's happening there. Whether they are from CHOP or coming into CHOP, it is drawing a certain type of violence there, and it needs to be shut down. Period.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to NeoUnrealist. Jenny Durkin's block party over in Seattle's CHOP may not have turned out to be the so-called summer of love that she predicted, but most didn't likely imagine that in just a span of 3 weeks, that it'd become the mecca, at least in the city of Seattle, for the murder and shooting of black teenagers. I mean, this incident in the CHOP was bad enough yesterday morning that when we were being fed the bullcrap that this was some kind of quote-unquote defense from the fascists, that was bad enough. But it turned out, it was actually a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old black kids who were driving around in a Jeep that some claim was stolen, which I don't find that hard to believe, but perhaps it was. But so here's the story from the Antifa CHOP leftist, as told by the person who was running the Twitter account, Alistair Kearcox. Now, this is a person who self-identifies himself in this series of tweets and in his Twitter bio as a CHOP medic, and that he was present at this situation. He even gives his name, but as it adds no news value to the story, I'm not going to publicize it. I'll just call him the medic. So the medic claims in his Twitter bio to have gone to Syria. He joined the YPJ International. Now, that's a brigade of the Kurdish YPJ. It's composed mainly of English-speaking Marxists of various stripes. You know, if you follow the goings-on in Syria in the past 3+ years, it would have been tough for them to join the International Brigade, because I think the primary language of the International Brigade is Turkish. That's where, like, the Arab foreign fighters go. So, yeah, the Marxists, you know, the Europeans and the people from the United States, Canada, places like that, they had to make their own brigade. And that's I guess, what he joined. Basically a grab bag of communists and anarchists that helped the largest Kurdish militia in Syria in their conflict against the Islamic State. So this person claims, long story short, that an altercation began in the area of the CHOP, you know, the gardens. You recall that dilapidated, those dilapidated piles of dirt that they, you know, put plants into. He claims that a, quote, privileged white kid with fireworks and a big mouth got into it with a gang that frequents a corner in the vicinity. Well, he says that in an effort to, quote, de-escalate. Yeah, you know how they de-escalate. You know how successful that is in the CHOP, those de-escalations. People keep getting shot and beat up. But the argument was attempted to be de-escalated, he says. In a gang of black youths, apparently, if we're to go by the two who got shot, they attacked what he terms were peaceful people, beat and robbed them, and hit him when he attempted to break it up. So he says the youths pulled knives, then shot at them. Nope, number one, he's claiming that he's trying to have the cake and eat it too. He's claiming that he saw them shoot directly at, now that this is all going on in the gardens area, because later it's not clear what he means in his in all his scapegoating attempts. He says they circled while shooting at them and then crashed. So the long and short, according to the medic, is a white kid was lighting off fireworks. A gang didn't like it. The gang, for some inexplicable reason, because they're arguing with this quote-unquote privileged white kid with fireworks, they pull out their knives and start shooting at everybody and robbing everybody there. Explain that one to me. So already this is starting to sound bogus, but okay, I'll bite in it some more. So this guy scapegoats the gangsters by blaming the white kid with fireworks. It's all his fault. But you know, as an aside, if this systemic oppression by the kid playing with the fireworks was the case, if that's the cause, how can he justify the CHOP ventilating the gangsters if they can't help themselves? Or is he saying that just black people are inherently violent and lack agency to control their behavior? Seems racist at first blush, but you know, what do you expect from these Marxist types? He keeps claiming in the video that somehow video proves the Jeep was shooting. Now, I don't know if he has access to video that I don't, but all I have seen is video of the white Jeep, you know, riding around the park in a joyriding fashion through the park and doing, I guess, I'm going to guess they were doing donuts. It's not clear. You can't always really see the Jeep but for flashes. But I've seen no evidence of shooting coming from the white Jeep. Perhaps I've missed some key piece of video. I'm open to that possibility. There's a lot of it out there, and I'm sure over the next few days, more will come out. There always seems to be somebody with a camera around the CHOP. In any event, the medic claims that he treated the 14-year-old and the 16-year-old at the scene, and eventually they were driven to the ambulance and eventually to the Harborview Medical Center. But as you'll see, the CHOPsters themselves, who presumably they've been at CHOP for 3 weeks now, even they got lost in their own maze of concrete barriers and wasted precious time trying to find a way out of their illegal warrant. So they're supposed to know their own layout. They can't even get out when under pressure. But did it not occur to the CHOPsters that the reason that the white Jeep was quote unquote circling is because they too didn't know how to drive out of that mess? And on top of this, given the fact that there are bullet holes in literally every window on every side of that Jeep, just about every quarter panel of the Jeep that has bullet damage on it. Even one of the tires I saw, they were being fired at from all directions. It seems to me that these guys, they took this Jeep, They tried to bug out with it. They got lost, and when they got to that checkpoint where they got ambushed, they were attempting to ram through the barrier to get out of CHOP. So all speculation on my part, though. After reviewing the video, I saw no indication that those in the white Jeep were shooting at the time that they were engaged at the porta-potties. Note in the video, the shooting all seems to come from the same stationary location. There's no Doppler effect, no change in relative distance from the camera. I counted 20 shots in all in that footage, and only shot number 5 seems to have any difference in pitch, report, or distance from the camera, if that. So, I mean, hardly what you'd expect to hear in the case of a drive-by shooting from a moving vehicle. But also keep in mind that shortly in the aftermath, one of the first things somebody says is that he jokes that he ran out of bullets.
I'm sorry, I ran out of bullets. Yeah, I was like, I know that dude. That nigga.
There's about 20 rounds in a standard AR-15 magazine, if that's in fact the weapon that was used for those 20 shots. But more importantly, now that we know that the 2 victims of the shooting were basically 2 black children, ages 16 and 14, the 16-year-old is dead, murdered by whatever self-appointed CHOP so-called defense force person or persons were pulling the trigger. The 14-year-old, he's in the ICU at Harborview Medical Center, clinging to life as of this recording. Who knows if he's going to make it or not. Be interesting if he survives, if he's willing to talk. Neither CHOP or the Seattle Police Department has indicated that any weapon of any kind was recovered from the vehicle or any spent bullet casings. In fact, Seattle's Police Department's Chief Carmen Best just flat out said that they found none of the evidence in the vehicle that they'd normally expect to find in the case of a shooting. So we have no real eyewitnesses that have come forward apart from this medic that I mentioned. So yes, I saw that. No one's come out and said that. Yes, I saw the black kids in the white Jeep shooting at someone from inside the vehicle. He says that he saw them shooting, in the garden. But I guess, when you're talking about in the legal sense, the important factor you have to understand is that you have to talk about what happened at the porta-potties, at the barriers where they got stuck. Because unless you could show that that they posed a threat to you at that point, if they were shooting at that point, okay, it's a justified shoot. If their windows are rolled up, as it looked like in the video, and no one really sees them aiming a weapon at anyone, you can't legally justify that. In fact, the opposite has occurred. The people in the CHOP, they're not cooperating with the homicide investigation. Remember, self-defense has to be an affirmative defense. You've got to claim it, and you've got to show cause. So just remember, as I mentioned, the windows, though shattered by gunfire as they were, the windows of the white Jeep were all found in the rolled up state. Now, this would suggest that absent the shooting through the windows of their own vehicle, which is a little bit absurd, but certainly possible, but it's difficult to envision the black teens having been conducting a drive-by with the windows closed. I mean, again, not unprecedented, but just highly unlikely to my mind. But keep in mind that all of this happened at roughly 3:30 a.m. in the wee hours of the night/morning. And I suspect that, yes, the white Jeep was probably stolen, and these boys were out joyriding in it, given all the detritus and stuff that was piled up in the back of the vehicle. There was even a cat carrier of some kind jammed in there. CHOP defense or security or whatever false name these terrorists have given themselves, they're nowhere to be found. Note that these self-appointed police, they do not practice any of the transparency and accountability that they demand from the real police. Where is the person or persons who fired all those shots at the 2 black teens in the Jeep to tell us, why they did so and justify each and every shot taken, just as they do in any police-involved shooting. How is it that Antifa, or let's just keep it to CHOP security, can possibly exist with not just no accountability or oversight, just even in total anonymity? If this were, for example, ISIS that had seized control of a police precinct in a major American city and declared a 3-block stretch of it a no-go zone for law enforcement, then in the span of 2 weeks, 2 black teens had just been callously and viciously murdered in that area, does anyone doubt the mayor would have long since mustered every able-bodied member of the Seattle Police Department and given them the order to go in and pacify the area where this conveyor belt of black youth struck by gunfire was occurring at the hands of these terrorists that are holding the police precinct hostage until their political demands are met? Now, I dare say she would not have provided ISIS with concrete barriers with which to harden and fortify their position and maintain illegal checkpoints where they can execute drivers that they don't like the look of. So in this brutal potential execution of a black underage driver, now keep in mind, some people claim that after the shooting ended at 20-shot fuselage, and in the span of time when somebody walked over to the vehicle and said, you're still alive, you want to be pistol whipped and that, some people claim that they heard a gunshot that indicates perhaps an execution. Oh, you're not dead, huh? Yo, you want to get pistol whipped? To me, I'm not gonna 100% claim that, because the sound of that that was made there different than the shots that came before. So it's not 100% certain to me that that's the same weapon. Maybe it's a sidearm, a small caliber pistol, but again, as I'm not a firearms expert, certainly not an expert in firearms acoustics, I'm not going to say that for sure. But it certainly something that if I were in law enforcement, I'd have forensics investigate. For example, if there was any sign of stippling on the dead teen, that would indicate a shot at close range, something like, or recovering a round of a smaller caliber, say, in his cranium, or something to that nature. But so if I don't know. It seems like to be, it's possible that they were profiling these people. Oh, there's multiple. First of all, they're screaming there are multiple vehicles. So who knows? Maybe they got the vehicle wrong. Maybe they're that silver SUV that people keep mentioning. Maybe that was the actual miscreant or threat. But how is the family of this slain teen supposed to get any justice under the construct and paradigm of the CHOP? Are they to arm themselves, head down to CHOP and conduct their own independent investigation? Bring along a coalition of the willing, made up of their family and friends that are willing to go into CHOP and hunt down the responsible parties? Since it's obvious that the mayor has no intention of doing anything about this. Why can I say that? Because a week ago, another unarmed black teen was murdered in the CHOP. Do you know his name? Where's his march? Where are the politicians and luminaries attending his funeral? Do black children's lives matter, when they're murdered by Antifa or CHOP security or a Black Lives Matter activist? It seems like when that happens, they don't matter. If this truly was self-defense, as the CHOPsters claim, why have they not turned themselves in? Why haven't they produced any weapons recovered on the persons of the 2 youths? Is it because they're aware that if a gunshot residue test on the hands of their victims comes back negative, that they're almost certain to face second-degree homicide charges with firearms enhancements? If they could show that at the time, the 16-year-old that was killed and the 14-year-old that was critically wounded, that they were firing or even just aiming a weapon in their direction, even as opposed to the CHOP as I admittedly am, at that point I'd be willing to say, okay, you can't expect people to let someone shoot at them. The problem is, people at the CHOP, they're really not putting out any defense of their actions whatsoever. That's all for this New Unrealist. If you want to help the channel, do me a favor. Hit like for this video. Leave a comment below. Mash down on the subscribe button if you're not already subbed to the channel. And click on the notification bell beside it. Put it on the all setting to keep up with newer content. If you want to contribute directly to the channel or toss your hard-earned dollars into the tip jar, follow the links below to Patreon, Subscribestar, or PayPal. Or if you watch this on BitChute, you can just click on the green tip pledge button on the video player. Most importantly, though, thanks for watching.